Jairata Matovo Kunja Bihari Rata Matava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janabalaba Girivaradari Gopi Janabalaba Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajanaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jayaratha Matava Kunja Bihari Rata Matava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janabalaba Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janabalaba Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajanaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jayaratha Matava Kunja Bihari Hey Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paragrajikacharya Ashtatala Satashi Shrimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Anantakoti Vaishnava Brindaki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Iti Janitai Go Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Narayanam namaskritya naram cheva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, canto 9, chapter 10, the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra, text number 29. Shri Shukovacha Swanam Vibhishanas Chakre Kosalendra Numodita Pitrimeta Vibanena Yadoktam Samparayikam Shishukovacha Swanam Vibhishanas Chakre Kosalendra Numodita Pitrimeta Vitanena Yadoktam Samparayikam Shishukovacha Swanam Vibhishanas Chakre Kosalendra Numodita Pitrimeta Vipanena Yadoktam Samparayikam. I agree. Bring the jug, warm water. Shri Shukovacha. Shri Shukadeva Goswami said, Swanam, of his own family members. Vipishana, the brother of Ravana, and devotee of Lord Ramachandra. Chakre, executed. Kosala Indra, Anum. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it again. Kosala Indra, Anumodita, approved by the king of Kosala, Lord Ramachandra. Pitrimeta Vidhanena, by the funeral ceremony performed by the son after the death of his father or some family member. Yat uktam, which have been prescribed. Samparayikam, duties to be performed after a person's death, to save him from the path to hell. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, Vibhishana, the pious brother of Ravana, the devotee of Lord Ramachandra, received approval from Lord Ramachandra, the king of Kosala. Then he performed the prescribed funeral ceremonies for his family members to save them from the path to hell. Translation responsibly. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, Vibhishana, the pious brother of Ravana and devotee of Lord Ramachandra, received approval from Lord Ramachandra, the king of Kosala. Then he performed the prescribed funeral ceremonies for his family members to save them from the path to hell. Purport. After giving up the body, one is transferred to another body. But sometimes, if one is too sinful, he is checked from transmigrating to another body, and thus he becomes a ghost. To save a diseased person from ghostly life, the funeral ceremony or Shraddha ceremony is prescribed in authorized Shastra, must be performed. Ravana was killed by Lord Ramachandra and was destined for hellish life. But by Lord Ramachandra's advice, Vibhishana, Ravana's brother, performed all the duties prescribed in relation to the dead. Thus, Lord Ramachandra was kind to Ravana, even after Ravana's death. Om Gyan Timadandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurn Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vievacha Petitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare. So this is a very famous pastime which is spoken of in the Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavatam, we only hear about this pastime briefly because, as we've described previously, it's already been elaborated upon by Valmiki. So it was spoken in length. The Ramayana is very long, and it was unnecessary. Everyone knew the story. Everyone who was sitting there, it's a very famous story. So it wasn't necessary for the entire story to be spoken again. There was only 7 days, 7 nights. It was a short amount of time to speak the whole Bhagavatam. So because he did not have time, he just speaks like a synopsis, 2 chapters, just like a brief understanding. If you want to study it further, then you need to get the Ramayana, and then you can study the whole pastime. It's very powerful pastime. It's famous all through India, and there are many instructive points within it. Srila Prabhupada wanted to translate these Shastras. Prabhupada translated Bhagavatam, almost finished the Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, right, and many, many other books, Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Devotion, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. He has different books that Prabhupada wrote. But he actually wanted to translate Mahabharata, Ramayana, because there's many powerful stories and pastimes within these shastras. But Srila Prabhupada did not have time, so therefore other devotees are translating and bringing them out. So, this particular pastime of Lord Ramachandra, there are many lessons that we can learn. And the basic principle is that there are, as Krishna speaks in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 16, what is chapter 16 called? Yeah, divine and demoniac natures, Sura and Asura. So, there are, within God's creation, Krishna created this material creation, this Prakriti. It says in the introduction of the Bhagavad Gita has 5 subject matters. What are the 5 subject matters? Yeah, Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. These are the 5 subject matters of the Bhagavad Gita. So you have Ishvara, means God, the controller. Jiva, that is us. Prakriti means Paraprakriti, Aparaprakriti means spiritual energy, material energy. Kala, which means time, and Karma, which means activity. So, in this material world, which is created by Krishna, it is divided into 2 categories. All the living entities in this material world, they are either in one of 2 categories. They're either divine or demoniac, which means you're either Sura or Asura. That you can divide everyone here, because we have 8 billion human beings on the earth. And there's so many other planets as well, right? So there's so many living entities within this cosmos, within this universe. Just this one universe, we have so many living entities. And all of these living entities, if you take everyone in this material world, right, they're either in one of 2 categories. They're divine or demoniac, which means Sura and Asura means you are theist or atheist. You either believe in God and you follow His commandments, you follow His instructions, you follow His authority, or you don't follow it. These are basically the 2 categories that you have in this world. Either someone follows or they don't follow. That's all there is within this material world. So this pastime of Lord Ramachandra fighting with Ravana, this is the instruction which is there. Right? It's the demons and the devotees fighting together. So it describes that in the Satya Yuga, this particular pastime, Ramayana, which yuga is this in? Which yuga is Ramayana? Yeah, Treta Yuga, the second. Right? First yuga, right? You have Satya Yuga, right? So the demons and the devotees, the divine and the demoniac, they are on different planets. Just like you read in Bhagavatam, sometimes the demigods, they're attacked by the asuras, who are their cousins, right? They're related. They have auntie and uncle, kuti, akuti, like these different personalities. They gave birth to the demons and the demigods, so they're related. But sometimes the demons, they attack the planet of the demigods. They go to Indraloka or they attack, right? And usually they are defeated. Most of the time they lose the battle. Occasionally they win, very occasionally, but usually they lose the battle. So they're on different planets. And then Treta Yuga is this pastime of Lord Ramachandra. The demons and the devotees are on different continents or different countries. Right? So you have Bharat, India, and then you have Sri Lanka. So the ocean divides. Right? There's like 30 kilometers or something, I think, between the two islands. So they're in different countries. Right? The Rakshasas, Ravana, all the demons, they were in Lanka, Sri Lanka, and then the devotees were in Bharatvash. Right? So they had to cross the ocean if they wanted to make contact. And then you have Dwapara Yuga. In Dwapara Yuga, that's the Mahabharata. You have the Pandavas and the Kauravas. So the demons and the devotees are in different families. Same country, but different families. So you have the Pandavas, you have the Kauravas. They're cousins, but they're divided. And then you have Kali Yuga, which is now. That's where we live. And in Kali Yuga, the devotee and the demon, they are in same body. Same body. Devotee and demon living in one body. So which one are you today? You devotee today or demon today? Yeah, that's good. Good. Because we are schizophrenic. Everyone in this room is schizophrenic. Schizophrenic means you have split personality. Because you're a demon or you're a devotee, both in the same body. You understand this principle? Yeah, we have both natures. Sometimes I wake up in the morning, not so much now, but in the past, a few years back, I used to wake up in the morning and I used to, when I wake up, I say, who's there? I used to say that to myself, who's there? Is it devotee today or is it demon today? Which one? Is it the one who wants to get up and serve Krishna? Or is it the one who wants to stay in bed and sleep? He doesn't want to get up and serve Krishna. Who's there? Which one? So you have to ask yourself, because both are there. Both are inside of us. So in this age, the Yuga avatar is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He comes not to kill you, because we know the famous pastime of Jagai and Madhai. They were acting like Asura. We know that they were incarnations of Jai Vijay. Jai Vijay were cursed, 3 births as demons. They had a choice. You can come 7 times as devotees or 3 times as demons. Right? They said, okay, we'll go 3 times as demons. Let's just get this done quickly. So they came, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, then Ravana, Kumbhakarna, then Shishupal, Dantavakra. But actually there's a 4th time they come again. But it's not mentioned in the past time. But they come a 4th time as Jagai Madhai. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Chana Avatar. Chana Avatar means hidden incarnation, not directly mentioned. That's why sometimes Krishna is called Tri-Yuga. He appears in 3 ages. Because the 4th age is not emphasized that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming. Because he wants to come as a Chana Avatar, hidden avatar, hidden incarnation. So, Jagai Madhai, they were the incarnation of these previous personalities. They came again. But as we know in the past time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not kill them. Like in all the other incarnations, they were killed. Right? Who killed Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha? Nrsimhadev and Varaha. And then who killed Kumbhakarna and Ram? And, Ravana, Ramachandra. And then who killed Shishupal Dantavakra? Krishna. And then who killed Jagai Madhai? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so angry, right? You have to sit this side. Yeah. No, sit over here for the men. No, sit. Come. Yeah, sit over there. That's okay. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so angry when Jagai Madhai had attacked, thank you, had attacked Nityananda Prabhu. He was so angry, he said, chakra. Right? Chakra. And then Sudarshana came. Right? Manifest. Right? Spinning. This is the most powerful weapon of God. He has many weapons. He has one bow, What is Krishna's bow called? Shanga. And he has one club. What is his club called? Kamodaki. And his most powerful weapon is chakra, Sudarshana. Right? So he manifests. And Lord Chaitanya is so angry, right? This is only 500 years ago in Mayapur. Now you can go to Mayapur, right? And then Lord Chaitanya is there and he's so angry that chakra comes. He's ready to kill him. He's going to take off Jagai Madai's head. But Nityananda Prabhu said, no, stop, don't do it. Because where do we stop? Where do you draw the line? Jagai Madai, then so many, right? So many. I mean, imagine if chakra was going around now in Kali Yuga, right? There's 8 billion people. I mean, how many would be killed? Demoniac nature, many, many, many people would be killed. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he does not kill the demons physically, but because the devotee and demon are in the same body in Kali Yuga, he kills the demoniac spirit. How does he do this? With the axe or the chopper of Harinam Sankirtan, right? Because it is mentioned in Chaitanya Mangala that the Senapati Bhakta, Srila Prabhupada, would cross the ocean and he would chase the demoniac population, and it says, with the axe of Harinam Sankirtan, he would cut their material desires. So that's what the chanting of the holy name does, right? It destroys demoniac desire. Like when we go into kirtan, if you go in kirtan, when we have kirtan, if you throw yourself into the kirtan and you chant enthusiastically, you feel purified. Sometimes you see devotees in kirtan, but they're not really in the kirtan. Some devotee just on the side, just kind of like, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Not that. That's okay. You can, at least you're in the kirtan. It's good, but you have to absorb yourself in kirtan. Prabhupada says in the songbook of the Vaishnavacharyas, in the introduction, Prabhupada said the safest place in the material world is in kirtan ras. Prabhupada says that. When we chant in the morning, Mangalati, Mahaprabhu, Kirtana, Nritya, Gita, Veditara Majan, Manaso Rasena. Your mind, because kirtan has to be performed with the mind. Physically, you can be there, but your mind is not absorbed in the kirtan. Japa is like that as well. Many times we're chanting japa, but the mind is not actually absorbed, right, in the process, in the function, in the sadhana, in the practice of chanting. Right? So you get purified when the mind becomes absorbed. That's why 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is about absorbing the mind, jnana yoga. Right? It's the process, because the mind has to go into the activity. Like when we do deity worship, first we do bhuta shuddhi. Right? You purify your consciousness before you go into the deity worship. Right? Because your mind has to be absorbed in the activity. Same as chanting. I was saying last time I gave class, a couple of weeks ago, that before I chant japa, then we chant Panchatattva mantra, right? And I chant Panchatattva mantra as many times as I need to before I start chanting my japa to absorb my mind. Sometimes, so I don't know, I just chant maybe 8 times, 10 times, 12 times, or I'll just keep chanting until I feel like my mind is connecting and absorbed, right? And then I begin to chant Maha Mantra. Because it's a sadhana, it's a practice, right? So when the mind is absorbed, that's when you get purified by the activity, right? So we all know that when we absorb the mind in the holy name, especially in kirtan, sankirtan, when you absorb your consciousness, then you feel purified, right? And you feel like the demoniac spirit is evaporating, right? It's going away. When we do kirtan, we're meant to do it for the pleasure of the deities. Kali Yuga is so powerful, and it's actually the best of the ages, because you can become Krishna conscious more quickly in this age than any other age. It's actually considered the superior age, even though if you look around us, it doesn't feel like the superior age, but it actually is the best age for self-realization, if you absorb yourself in the process. So Prabhupada says in the beginning of the Adi Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, you don't even need to get initiated to go back to Godhead in Kali Yuga. The process of Nam Sankirtan is so powerful, right? That's like 1 in a million scenario. We should not think like that, because then Prabhupada elaborates actually. He says, however, okay, Nam Sankirtan is so powerful, you can just chant the holy name and go back to Godhead if you're chanting with absorption, with purity. But most of us, our subtle bodies are contaminated, so therefore we need Pancharatrika Vidimag, the path of deity worship, to purify the consciousness. So when we absorb in Bhagavad Vidimag, or hearing and chanting, then we will get more purified. And all of us who have performed deity worship know that. When you do deity worship, you purify your consciousness, then your sadhana becomes better. Your hearing and chanting becomes easier. So there's a correlation. But Prabhupada explains, the process in this age is so powerful, you can just chant Hare Krishna in the temple room before the deities have gone in Thai, and you can go back to Godhead. Right? Even if you never take second initiation, never go on the altar. I'm not saying don't do that. We're not saying don't take, because it's very beneficial. But even if you never did that, right? If you only just chanted in front of Gaurnitai, enthusiastically with all of your heart, and develop prema, you can go back to Godhead. Right? That's how powerful the process is. Prabhupada says just dancing and chanting in front of Gaurnitai, you can become completely liberated, which is what Bhagavatam teaches. What is that verse at the end about the holy name? 12th canto. How does it start? Yeah. That if we chant the holy name, how does it begin? That verse? For some reason, I've got a mental block on the verse. No. Earlier. No, that's the last verse. Yeah, but the earlier. What's that one about the holy name? I don't know why. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, now it's there. Sometimes like the computer doesn't download. Yeah, my brain's like that sometimes. Doesn't download. I can see the verse, but I can't grab it like that. Kale dosha nite rajan astiheko mahan guna kirtanat eva krishnasya mukta sangha parambaja. So, holy name is so powerful. Kale dosha niti rajan. This Kali Yuga is full of problems, big problems. Right? Next 10 years, we're going to see an escalation of Kali Yuga, like that. It's going to get uncomfortable in the next 10 years. We'll see. Big lot of faults. However, astiheko eka mahaguna. There's one good quality, one superior quality, a mahaguna, which is so powerful. Kirtanad eva krishnasya. Right? If you just do Krishna kirtan, right? Mukta sangha. Mukta means liberation. Paramvrajet. You can get Goloka. Paramvraj, the supreme destination. That's how powerful this chanting is. So it is so powerful that if you just chant in front of Gaur Nitai, you can become fully liberated. That's how powerful the process is. So that means you have to be, when we do kirtan in the temple, which we're very fortunate to do, we're so fortunate here in Melbourne, these deities were installed by Prabhupada himself. Like every year I like to go to the Holy Dhams. I try to go to Mayapur, to Puri Vrindavan. And one of the reasons we go is so that we can see the deities which were installed by the previous acharyas. Right? You can see the actual deities, which Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. You can see the deities of the 6 Goswamis. Some of them are there. I mean, some of them are outside of Vrindavan now, but you can see the actual deities. Right? It's very powerful. This place is a place of pilgrimage right? It is a Chetra, it is a Dham, right? If you understand how significant and important this temple is, to have the deities which are installed by Prabhupada himself, right? It's extraordinary, right? So, Melbourne Mahaprabhu Mandi, you have Gaurnitai, Radha Vallabha, Jagannath Balaram Subhadra, they all manifested in front of Prabhupada, right? They all became, the Lord took his position in front of Prabhupada. They were summoned by Prabhupada himself to enter the form. So, when we're fortunate enough to do kirtan in front of the deities, it must be for their pleasure. That's the point. Because sometimes I see devotees, they're doing kirtan, but they're not really focused on the deities. Even there was one time here in Melbourne, when Prabhupada was here, they went to Ormond Hall, which is just over, not far from there, and Prabhupada had a program there. You see the video on the big Lord Chaitanya as high as the roof. That statue was there. Even when I joined, he was still around. Up at Moolumbar, he used to come out for the Ratha Yatra, that big Lord Chaitanya. I don't know where he is now. But Prabhupada actually said that Lord Chaitanya has the correct dimensions for Lord Chaitanya. Also, if you go to Mayapur, Prabhupada's room? In the Lotus building? Yeah, in the Lotus building. If you go in there, that deity of Lord Chaitanya, which Prabhupada worshipped? Prabhupada said he has the dimensions of Lord Chaitanya. That's what Lord Chaitanya looks like. The dimensions are like that. So, it's so powerful that Prabhupada was in Ormond Hall and they were doing kirtan, and the brahmacharis were very enthusiastic. When we're in kirtan, we should be enthusiastic. Right? We should chant enthusiastically. And the devotees that were in the kirtan, Prabhupada was on the stage, he was chanting, Madhudwiza Maharaj was leading kirtan. Prabhupada said he is the emperor of kirtan. Right? Did you ever do kirtan with him? Madhudwiza Prabhu? Yeah, I remember one time, 96 he came, 92, 96, he came twice. Prabhupada Prabhu was playing drum, mridanga, and Madhudwiza was leading kirtan. It was like, very, very powerful. Prabhupada was young and he could play mridanga like crazy. And Madhudwiza Prabhu was leading kirtan. It was like so powerful. So, Prabhupada was in the hall and they were having the kirtan and all the devotees were going around Gaurnitai, but the brahmacharis were going like, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. They're doing like. Prabhupada stopped the kirtan. Yeah, he said, Prabhupada looked at him and he said, not like this. He said, like this. And he said, start. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. So the point is, sometimes we do the kirtan, when I see the devotees, we're in front of God, but we lose the consciousness of Gaurnitai. We're chanting for their pleasure. If they were here, like in their original forms, you would be looking at them. You would be looking at them. The point is, we should do kirtan enthusiastically, but it must be for their pleasure. It must be for their pleasure. Sometimes devotees just get, especially the men, they get testosterone driven. They just become a little bit like crazy. That's good. Enthusiasm is good. But sometimes you can see they're actually losing track of what we're doing here, right? The consciousness should not be lost. Up at Moolumbar, they have the Holy Name Retreat a few years ago. Govinda Maharaj was there, B.B. Govinda. He was leading kirtan. Devotees were all dancing, and then it started getting really crazy, But then devotees even stopped chanting because they're just like having too much fun. And Maharaj, you could hear him on the stage. He's saying in the microphone, keep chanting, because everyone's just like becoming so much fun and just like they're throwing devotees in the air and doing all sorts of things. Maharaj said, hey, keep chanting, because the holy name is the center. We're worshipping. Kirtan means you are worshipping the holy name. When you take Brahman initiation, second initiation, you can go on the altar, you can worship the deity, you can worship the Shalagram, you can worship Giriraj, right? When you're second, you can go on. But and that's why you can go back to Godhead even without taking Diksha or second initiation, because when you worship the holy name properly and chant properly, you can go back to Godhead. That's how powerful it is. So in Kali Yuga, the demon and the devotee are in same body, right? And then how do you get rid of the demon? By chanting the holy name, right? Harinam Anukirtanam. This is mentioned in the second canto. Bhagavatam says this is the process. Harinam Anukirtan. What does Anukirtan mean? Right? Anukirtan. Anukirtan means kirtan that follows. You have to learn how to chant the holy name. It's like everything in devotional service. You need to learn it, right? Like if you cook for the deities, just like who's cooking breakfast for the deities now? Arjun Sakaprabhu. Doesn't he usually cook on Tuesday? Okay, then Arjun Saka, where are you? You should be in class. I know you're listening. He used to say to me, because he used to cook on Tuesdays, and they used to say, oh, Prabhu, I listened to the class. But I know you're listening now, where are you? If you're not cooking, you should be here, setting the example for the community. So, I'll speak to you afterwards when I see you. So, just like, whoever's cooking the breakfast for the deity, they have to learn how to cook. Right? You have to learn how to cook. Prabhupada taught the devotees in the beginning of ISKCON, Prabhupada taught how to make puris. Puris that puff up. Can anyone make puris that puff up? Can you make it? Like if you make the puri, it has to be the puri that goes puff up. Right? So that means you need to have the training to learn these things. You need to learn how to make the sabjis. Right? You need to learn how to make the puris, the laddu, all these things. You need to learn. You need to be trained. So we need to be trained in how to cook. That's the path of anushilanam, or learning the process. Like with deity worship, someone has to train you how to worship the deity, how to do the arati. And it's not just about learning the physical activity, doing the arati, like 4, 2, 3, 7, or learning how many numbers to do. But when we learn how to worship the deity, for example, we also learn what is the mood in the worship. That's what the devotees teach us. They teach us how to do the service, but what is the correct mood in doing the service. Prabhupada taught all the devotees like this, right? How to do the service properly. What is the correct mood in serving the Lord? So, in the same way, Anukirtan means when we chant the holy name of Krishna, we have to be taught how to chant the holy name. Right? How to be attentive while chanting. How do you learn? You chant with other devotees who are absorbed in chanting. Just like when you look around the temple room, all the devotees are chanting, like on Janmashtami, so many devotees. And I look around, you see some of the devotees are absorbed in their chanting, and others, they're still learning how to absorb themselves. So this is the process. This is how you kill the demoniac spirit. Devotee and demon. So in the Ramayana, right, it is the devotees, it is the demons. And unfortunately, the demons would not submit, and because they would not submit, then Lord Ramachandra had to kill Ravana. Right? Ravana was actually given the opportunity to surrender. Lord Ramachandra, he defeated him. He said, come back tomorrow and just give me Sita, and then I'll walk away. I'll go back to India. You stay here with Lanka. Right? But Ravana would not submit, and then Lord Ramachandra to kill him. So we have to kill the demoniac spirit within our consciousness. We do that by worshipping the holy name, chanting the holy name properly. That is the process in the age of Kali. So I'll stop here. Are there any questions, any comments on what we discussed? Okay. Any other questions? Comment. Okay.
I learned today how I can be conscious in my act, being devotees in demand. Wasn't realized that before. It's a good way of taking this to watch my all actions, Prabhu. So I like that, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Thank you all for coming. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai.